Good evening, everybody. Uneducated Economist here. I'm going to read you guys this email. It has to do with the videos that I put out over the last couple of days, but it's a good email, and I'm going to respond to it afterwards. So let me read this to you guys. I commented on your "You'll Own Nothing and Be Happy About It" video, and I was neither angry or scared. I was disappointed that you would be content to not really own nothing. I came from nothing as a kid. I had to make friends every 6 months because my dad was really bad at managing his money, even though he made well above minimum wage. And he never bought a house because he would always say, "For what? I'm going back to Mexico one day." Me and my 5 sisters never established any roots in any neighborhood or any school because we always knew we were going to move, and this went on till I was 18 years old. My sisters had to keep dealing with it. At 18, I moved out on my own to some small, illegal, converted garage that I could afford to pay with my paycheck. I got a job on the railroad shortly and bought my first home at 25 years old and started a family with the intentions of letting my kids establish lifelong friendships, finishing the school they started and having their own room because I, being the only boy, never had my own room. I slept in the living room from when I could walk till I was 16. At 16, I got moved to the garage, and my bed was 2 pallets on cinder blocks with the mattress on top. And I was not allowed to bring friends over to our house, let alone a girlfriend. I never had new clothes or new shoes. Everything I had were hand-me-downs from cousins or school. Only me and one other sister own homes. She got lucky and married a great man. I used the bad memories to motivate me to wake up every day at 3:30 a.m. and drive 60 miles to work one way, 60 miles back. And there are days when I want to give up, but I am 45 years old and I'm almost done paying the house. I did mention socialism and communism in my comment on your video because that is how it is in communist countries. They own nothing and have no choice but to be happy with what they got. I was disappointed because I watch you every day and you have a voice, a platform. And whether you think it or not, you influence people with your videos, and someone with a young, immature mind might take you at your word and say, well, if the uneducated economist can own nothing and be happy, why can't I? I am emailing you because I wanted to give you my personal life experience, and if would have watched your YouTube video of owning nothing and being happy when I was 18, I might not be where I am today. Like the movie Spider-Man says, with great power comes great responsibility. And by the way, my father never bought a home and never went back to Mexico. He owns nothing, and you can see the misery on his face. Now, him and my mom live in a home my sister and her husband bought after a 2008 crash for $70,000. My sister charges him $500 a month rent. Simon, I wish you no ill will, and if I offend you, I am sorry. Those were not my intentions. I am still a subscriber, and I still watch your videos. Remember Winston Churchill's quote, "History will be kind to me, for I intend to write it." Rock on, EE. And Astoria, Oregon is where my all-time favorite movie takes place, The Goonies. Laugh out loud. And it's because they had the movie. Or it's because they had to move. And he didn't leave his name. Thank you, sir. I really appreciate that email. And I have to give it to you, man. If you are 45 years old and you're about ready to pay your house off, that's awesome. Because I'm 45 years old and I barely have enough to put down on a house. And that's the only thing I got. There's a big difference between you and me, bro. Okay. Yeah, you had a pretty rough time growing up. It's not too far off from what my wife had to experience. I didn't. I had a pretty easy childhood when you consider it, but I never learned how to properly deal with emotions or suppressing the feelings that you have, and you turn to alcohol. And you might have learned at a young age. I didn't. See, I screwed up real bad. I don't have a house. I don't have anything, and I have little kids. Real young kids. And a few years ago, and I mean, when I started this channel, you can go watch. The day I made the very first video for this channel, I was in debt. That car that I was sitting in, I bought for $600, and somebody vandalized it to the point that I had to throw it away. If you are watching my channel and you are young, then you will be learning what you shouldn't do when you were young. Don't do what I did. Because what you're watching is somebody who is in their death throes trying to figure out what it is that they can do to survive, because you don't got much time left. And it's quite fortunate that I found YouTube, because YouTube has really changed my life. And yeah, I'm entertaining, but I'm not real smart when it came to my finances. And so if you're learning from me, you're probably learning what you shouldn't have done. I don't know if I'm making the right decisions in life. I'm running on instincts here. I'm running off of what I've learned and what I've seen. You do what you do, man. You're doing it right. I'm not blaming you for making the right decisions. I didn't. And the idea of me owning a home is pretty much out the window now. Because at 45 years old, making 30 years worth of payments pretty much says that you will forever be making payments. Do you see the difference between you and me? I'm not talking to the young people taking my advice. I'm driving a $500 car and I don't have anything. Why would you follow me? As far as financial advice goes, that doesn't make any sense. To own nothing and be happy and be content with that, don't ask me to live in misery, man. I'm trying to be happy here, okay? I don't have a whole lot to deal with. I rent a really nice home that's close to work. If this car gives up, I still make it to work on time no matter what. Not even a question. I had to do that because I ran out of everything. I ran out of resources. I ran out of money. I ran out of vehicles. There was four adults working in one house, one working vehicle. I had family members move. I moved family members in so we could try and make the rent payment. We were so broke. And this is 3 years ago, dude. Okay, I'm not just talking to you specifically, and I'm not trying to be mean or offensive or anything, man. I just want you to know where I come from. A lot of people already knew this. You know, I tried. I tried really, really hard to buy a house. It was 2007. I had no idea what I was doing. I was working construction. I was making decent money. My wife was pregnant, and we bought a house. And it seemed like 2 months later, everything started crashing around me. It almost seemed like it's almost like as if I was signing it and things were shifting as it was happening. 84 payments later. 7 years. 7 years worth of payments. I tried so hard to hold on. I spent every resource I had. I sold everything I could. There was nothing left. I couldn't do it anymore. I had to give up. You know, I could keep going on. I'm not going to. I just want you to know where I come from. I'm trying really hard. I don't know what I'm doing. I put it out there. I let you know exactly what I'm up to. There's a lot of people who agree with me. There's many people who don't. It's just, this is me, man. I'm being honest. And I'm not about ready to change that. I'm not about ready to change anything about who I am or what I do. If there was, you know, if there was ever a day where I felt like comfortable going and buying a new truck, I think I might do that. But I've purchased new vehicles in the past And I have suffered the consequences from doing that. I understand that there is a lot of benefit from buying into real estate. I know there is. I want real estate myself, guys. I do. But I can be happy without it. You know, I can take my family on experiences that are away from a piece of real estate. That's something that I've never been able to do before, but this is something that I get to do now. You know, there was a time in my life when my kids would ask, you know, it's just like, hey, can I take, you know, Taekwondo lessons or something? I'd have to say no. I don't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore. It's just like, man, you want something? Yeah, man, you want to take lessons? You can take lessons. I'll get you anything you want because I'm not stressed about anything. My bills are pretty much minimal. I have almost no debt. I have no debts. I literally have no debts anymore. I took my family members and I said, do you have student loan debts out there? Medical debts, where are they? I paid them all off. I've never been able to do something like that. I'm running on instincts, guys. I don't know what I'm doing. So, I understand, man, that I have a platform here, and I understand that I have a voice, and I know it spans out there a long ways. And I'm not one to, like, try and convince you that I am the smartest person in the world. I mean, I think the title of my channel said that from the beginning. I never tried to hide who I am. You know, this is it. This is what you get. And if you're disappointed in it, man, I know, I get it, man. There's been plenty of times in my life where I've had a lot of people who have been disappointed in me, and believe me, man, I have been disappointed in myself. Anyway, I'm sure there's probably a lot more that I would want to say to that, but I think you know where I'm coming from now. Uneducated Economist. You guys let me know.